charged into the market square and fought her. That day baskets flew, rappers tore, and mouths were silenced. Since then, Obiageri and Ekutos became friends, not because of a long history, but because pain had brought them together. Calmly near the roof, watching. The couple was startled, but they said nothing. Many years ago, their ancestors would have called this a sign. Perhaps the child was an Ogbanje, one of those spirit children believed to move between worlds. But Obinna and Obiageri were Christians, strong in their faith. They shook off the thought and held their miracle child tightly. Ida brought blessings. After 6 years of mockery and shame, Obiageri had finally given birth. For 6 long years, women in the village laughed behind her back. Some said her womb was cursed, others accused her of eating her babies. Even in the church, whispers followed her. People began avoiding her, and children ran away when she greeted them. In those days of bitterness and loneliness, one person stood by her, Ekutos. Loud, strong, and fearless, Ekutos had a sharp tongue and a sharper fist. When Akuni, the notorious troublemaker of the village, insulted Obiageri and called her a man in a woman's wrapper, Ekutos charged into the market square and fought her. That day baskets flew, rappers tore, and mouths were silenced. Since then, Obiageri and Ekutos became friends, not because of a long history, but because pain had brought them together. So when Ada was born and birds appeared mysteriously, only Ekutos knew. She was the one Obiageri confided in, the one she whispered to when strange things began happening. Ada was different. As she grew, her parents noticed little things. She often played alone, whispering as if to unseen friends. Sometimes when she was scolded, something bad followed. One day, Obiageri warned her not to litter the compound while eating. Moments later, she slipped in that same spot and bruised her leg. Another time, she shouted at Ada for murmuring to herself and sent her inside. That day at the market was terrible. She sold nothing and nearly got into a fight with a trader. Obinna noticed. He tried to ignore it, but Obiageri felt it more. She became careful, treating Ada with unusual gentleness. Her siblings saw it. Even Ikenna, the only son, grew jealous. Ada became the special one. No one dared correct her anymore. Still, Obiageri needed to talk to someone. She turned again to Ekutos. But Ekutos, as bold as ever, was also the village's greatest radio without battery. She told Ulunma. Ulunma told Adaugo. Adaugo, who happened to be Akune's friend, whispered it to her. And that was how the whole village knew. They began to call Obiageri a witch in secret. She gave birth to a spirit, they said. 6 years of barrenness, and now this. At school, children mocked Ada. They called her names: Bird Girl, Witch Child, Ghost Eyes. She would return home quiet, her books held tightly to her chest. But she never told her mother. Then came the day that broke the camel's back. Uzo, a classmate, shoved her during break time. "Do your worst, witch," he shouted. "Kill me like the others." Ada said nothing. She dusted herself and walked away. That evening, Uzo went home, ate, and later went to poo. From the bathroom, he began vomiting and stooling violently. The next day, he was dead. His parents wailed, but also pointed fingers. "It was Ada," they cried. "He mocked her, and now he's dead." Panic spread like wildfire. The village elders met. They said the land was unclean. A ritual must be done. The child must be brought out, they declared. 3 days. Let her face the cleansing, or the gods will punish us all. Obinna was torn. Obiageri wept night and day. How could they give up their child? But Ada had heard everything. That night, she watched them from her room, the only parents who ever loved her. She saw her mother on her knees, praying and crying. She saw her father pacing like a lost man. So, quietly, while the world slept, Ada left. She wore her white nightdress and walked barefoot through the moonlit path, guided only by her tears. She reached the village stream. The water was quiet. Still, she looked into it, took a deep breath, and stepped in. By morning, she was gone. When the villagers began searching, the hunter came forward. "I saw her," he said. "Or maybe a shadow, heading toward the stream. I thought it was an animal. I was too tired." They ran there. And there she was, floating gently, silently. Her face was calm, her eyes were closed like she was only sleeping. The birds never came back. The birds never returned to the village again. The rain stopped for many weeks. Children fell sick, crops withered, Obina grew silent, Obiageri never spoke again, and in every home a strange emptiness lingered. They had feared what they could not understand. They had destroyed what they should have loved. The village mourned, but it was too late. They feared what they could not understand. They killed what they should have protected. Ada, the child the birds followed, was gone. Fear is not faith, and ignorance is not tradition. In their fear, they destroyed the one gift the heavens gave them. Was she Ogbanje? Was she an angel? We may never know. But one truth remains. Sometimes what we don't understand we destroy, out of fear wrapped in religion. Dedicated to every misunderstood soul. May Africa learn to love before it fears.